Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Haunted House. My name is Ghost, and welcome back to another episode of History with a Ghost. Package theft is a pretty common thing. It mainly comes in the form of what is known as a porch pirate. Thieves that will just snatch your package at your front door while you're not home or not aware and run. There isn't much you can do to stop this. The only thing that can help is if you have a PO box or a big and secure mailbox. But I think if a certain person was alive today, you wouldn't need to worry about porch pirates. Today, we are talking about Mary Fields, aka Stagecoach Mary, the first African American woman to work as a Star Route mail carrier for the US Postal Service. Not much of her early life is known, really, not much of her whole life is known. She was born in Hickman County in Tennessee in 1832. She was a slave for a time before she was emancipated. After she was emancipated, she moved to the Mississippi River where she worked on board the Robert E. Lee as a chambermaid for a while. The Robert E. Lee was a steamboat. The captain of the boat was John W. Cannon. I don't know why you would work on a boat named after a pro-slavery general, especially when you yourself was a slave, but okay. Um, I don't even know. I don't even want to know how badly treated she was, but yeah. While she worked on the Robert E. Lee, she met a man by the name of Edmund Dunn, a politician and judge at the time. At some point after meeting him, she would go and work at his household as a servant. Again, not much is known about Mary in details. No idea what the circumstances were for her leaving with him, but I guess she liked him. She would work there for a while before Edmund's wife died. After she died, Edmund sent Mary and his 5 kids to live with his sister, Mother Mary Medeas, in Toledo, Ohio. Mary Medeas was Mother Superior of the Ursuline Coven. The Ursuline Coven was a French Catholic school that moved to America or something. Every time I've tried to look into this coven, I couldn't get a straight answer for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. They apparently teach girls and Native Americans for a time before the school became a museum. Um, in 1884, Mother Medeas would go to Montana to prop up another school for a different church called St. Peter's for Native Americans. Um, while there, she would catch pneumonia. Mary would head to Montana to the St. Peter's camp and nurse her back to health, and she recovered. Mary was tall, standing at 6 feet tall. Um, she was strong as hell. While Medeas was recovering, Mary would take on what was considered back then as men's work. This included maintenance, repairs, fetching and guiding supplies, gardening, and a bunch of other stuff. She was a strong ass person. She was even a forewoman for a little at the camp. Not only was she a strong person, but she had a temper and didn't give a damn what about anything you said about her. While she was in the Ursuline Coven, she would go to the bar and drink and smoke, which the coven didn't like. At some point, Mary got into a fight with a man who supposedly worked there as a janitor. The fight got so bad that they both pulled guns on each other and possibly shots were fired. I freaking love this woman. After the fight, she was kicked out of the coven. I would have loved to have seen that. Just a absolute chattable woman just obliterate some guy. It's beautiful. After being kicked out from the coven, she would move to the Cascade Range in Montana, where she would open multiple eateries, but all of them would eventually fail as she would regularly let people who couldn't pay eat. Not only is she a absolute badass, but she's got a big heart. Um, Eventually, around 1896, she would be hired as a Star Route postwoman for Montana. Star Route mail carriers were private contractors hired by the U.S. Postal Service. It started in 1845. It was one of the hardest jobs in America. Um, Contractors would have to face bad weather, tough terrain, wolves, and bandits. Contractors also had to supply their own transport. Mary, of course, used a stagecoach, hence her name. The stagecoach was actually supplied by Mother Medeas. They stayed friends even after Mary was kicked out and would continue to be friends till she passed. Mary, being the absolute badass she was, carried multiple firearms on this job. She carried a Winchester rifle and, most famously, a 38 Smith & Wesson revolver under her apron. I should also say she was in her 60s when she got this job, and she never missed a day. Just a absolute Chad. It is said in one instance she fought off a pack of wolves who had attacked her stagecoach, and another time her stagecoach was stuck in snow during a blizzard, and she was forced to walk back and forth until morning so she didn't die of frostbite. This woman was pure steel. Nothing could stop her. She would continue this job for 8 years before retiring in 1903 at 71. Let me say that again. 71. And when I say retire, I mean that very softly, because she would continue to run a laundry business where some other badass events would unfold. One day, she was at a bar hanging out when a man she recognized walked into the bar. This man did not pay for his laundry at her business. She proceeded to beat the hell out of him, knock him to the ground, and put her foot on his chest, and said she wasn't going to take it off till he paid, which he did. Again, she's a absolute badass. On top of her laundry business, she was a babysitter. Mary had a massive reputation. Everyone in town knew her. In 1912, her house would burn down. Because of her reputation, the whole town volunteered to help rebuild it. She was also granted a pardon from the mayor of Cascades, where she could drink in bars. It was looked at as a unladylike back in the day to drink at bars, and in some places you could even be arrested, which was insane. Her home was rebuilt, and she continued her life running her business, hanging out at the pub, beating up men until December 5th, 1914. Two boys would find her face down in snow at the edge of town. It is not known what exactly happened to her, but if I had to put my bet, I guess she passed out drunk in the snow, which she caught hypothermia and died. She is buried at the Hillside Cemetery in Cascades, Montana. Um, just such a sad ending for such a badass woman, but that's life, I guess. But yeah, that's about everything about Mary Fields, one of the most badass people ever. This woman, looking into this person's story was amazing. It is one of the coolest things I've ever read. And as you know, just a couple of days ago, I just did Harvey Carney, which is going to say is a close second to this woman. Like his story is insane, but this woman was just an absolute badass. But yeah, um, if you like this video, Please give it a like and a follow. Again, I'm sorry if I'm being stuttering a lot. Haven't been feeling well the last couple of days. As you know, I'm still recovering from cold. All the usual. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.